Hello guys and welcome back to the Thaumcraft tutorial series with me, Bashful Brit. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these and I apologise. I know the last one I did was regarding the Thaumcraft 4.2 update, and this isn't going to be as much of a tutorial series but more of a spotlight sort of video. It's basically just covering a couple of things that have changed in the latest update, just getting you guys up to speed. I've been playing around with these a little bit myself. Between other episodes and stuff that I do, and hang on, it's just so yeah, I've been playing around with it a little bit and I've got fairly decent knowledge on it, and I thought I'd just go over vis relays and node stabilizing and stuff like that and how all of this works in the new update. So we're going to jump straight into it. I've got a little wall of stuff here of everything, 2 magical levers at the end there. We'll see what them do when we get to it. But starting off, we're going to go with the node stabilizer. We'll jump into the Thermonomicon. Doop-a-doo. Right, so that's loaded up. Well, for some reason it lags when you try and load the book now. We're going to jump straight into it. It's basically this thing here will stabilize your nodes. It'll put a little aura around it. If you're not sure, or if you weren't aware, if you put nodes together like this quite close, I'm going to go game mode. Whoops. I'm going to go game mode 1. Yeah, as you can see, they're causing these little sparks. They're basically trying to steal aspects from one another, like they'll merge together, and you don't really want that when you've got a load of nodes in your base. You want them to stay as you get them. I assume you can do this to sort of make one big node if you want, but genuinely you want to keep them separated, and that's what node stabilizer does. So if we stick that one there, it'll make this little aura around it. Doesn't require any power or anything, it's just a standalone thing. It will automatically pulse these arms out. I'm guessing this gets powered from the node itself. But as you can see, if we put a node next to it, it's not going to try and pull anything out of it. It's not going to create any sparks. Put a couple of them here so you can see. Like these ones here will all do this thing, but it's not going to affect the one in the node stabilizer. So that's basically going to protect your nodes, which is great. And this is sort of what you want around your base to protect your nodes and stop them from merging with the other nodes that you might have around. From this you can recharge your wand. So if we have a wand pedestal here and we had a wand on it, we could recharge it from that. I don't have an empty wand on me though. But yeah, so you can use this for your charging room, because if you want to like have a one charging room and you've got like 3 or 4 nodes in there to charge off of, or maybe more, they will try and merge together if they're too close. I think it's within 4 blocks of each other. They'll try and merge together, so you want to try and keep them separate so you can keep them more compact in one room using these node stabilizers. Like you can place them next to each other and stuff, I think. So that's pretty awesome. The crafting recipe for this one isn't too bad at all. It's night ore, arcane stone bricks, 2 quartz blocks, piston, and a gold ingot. Not too terrible at all. Jump into this quickly. Night ore is done through a crucible, and it looks like it uses wood now. I believe it used to use coal. Okay, so that's changed a little bit. I'm going to have to make sure and go through and make sure everything's the same. If anything's changed, I'll update you guys, but it looks like it uses wood now instead of coal, which I think it used to use. And it uses ignis and potentia in a crucible, so you need them aspects in there, which I think you actually get from coal. So you just chuck them into a crucible with a bit of wood, and it will now give you night ore, so that's not too bad to do at all. And arcane stone bricks are pretty simple. It's just arcane stone blocks, which can be found here. It's basically just stone bricks around, or stone, general stone around any kind of shard that you want, and then that will give you the stone, arcane stone, and then you just do 4 of them and it will give you 4 arcane stone bricks. All pretty simple basic stuff to do, and then the rest is all vanilla stuff. I'm sure you all know how to do them. And then we also have this thing called an Advanced Node Stabilizer. Basically, this is a step up from this Node Stabilizer. It's done in an infusion altar using redstone blocks, 2 Elementum and 2 Nitor. Elementum is done with charcoal. Sorry, this one's done with coal and stuff. Maybe that one was done with a torch. I can't remember. I'm going to have to check. But it's definitely changed, I think. So yes, in a crucible with these aspects, it'll give you Elementum. Just give you the one. Where are we? Over here. So you got to do all this, and then you need all of these round your infusion thing. It is a dangerous infusion, so be wary of that when you're doing it. I do have an infusion altar video up if you're unsure about your infusion altar. I think it was episode 13. It's a two-parter. It's roughly about 40 minutes. I go quite in depth into the infusion altar, how to make it, up to how to sort of make your own things in it. So differences between the advanced and the normal node stabilizer is this one will make an aura, but if you put aspects next to it, it will pull from them. But basically, if this is the weaker one and you had loads of really strong ones around the outside, nothing will try and pull anything from this. This will only draw from any nodes around it. So if you put any nodes around that, it will draw from them. Just fill that back in. So yeah, it won't ever try, nothing will ever try to merge, or any of the ones around the outside won't merge with this one, so it won't be pulling aspects out of it. You can only pull aspects into it, which is pretty nifty, so you can leave it on there. And if you find a node which is really cool and you're just like, oh, I want to add that to this, you can just chuck it down there and it will pull the aspects into that. So you can create your nodes that way. I think it does have a couple of bad effects though, so just do be careful with that one. So moving on, and there's these things called node transducers. These are pretty easy to make as well. It's redstone blocks, iron, node stabilizer from before, and 1 piece of Nitor. So it's all vanilla stuff. Add a little bit of Nitor. Nitor is quite easy to make, as you've seen. Basically, I think these should both do the same thing, but if you put your node in here and then hit that, these require redstone signals to be activated, so you can turn these off and on quite easily. The difference is this will drain all of this. Do not worry about that. It's not going to completely destroy it. It's going to make it into this thing called an energized node. And energized nodes are basically, you need the nodes to be energized to be able to transport them around using vis relays, which we'll get into in a minute. And they are really cool things and really useful. But these, like I said, they're quite easy to make, and it will do this little effect thing and it'll eventually turn into an energized node. So if we leave that for a little while, it will all turn, and I'll explain a little bit on the way. There you are. It's gone already, and so is that one. So with these energized node and these vis relays, they all connect up like so. However, if you use if you want to recharge your one now, you cannot use an energized node to do so. Unfortunately, they have to be the standard aura nodes, and these can be reversed by simply turning off the redstone signal. It'll eventually turn back into a normal node, but it will start off with 0, and it'll have to recharge all the way back up until it's full again, up to 62 and 54. So this normally cuts it by roughly about 10%, I believe. So this will be a 5 Terra and a 6 Air when it's energized, and then you'd flip it back off and it'd just go to 0, and then you have to wait for it to charge back up again to be able to charge your 1 for it. Let's just quickly turn that off. There we go. Disabled rain. Get in me. So yeah, so you can't charge your 1 through these now when they're energized, but you can transport them around using these vis relays, and these are quite useful even just in the beginning. So we're gonna, if that's turned off and that's turned off, will it? Okay, so be very careful when destroying an energized node. They will blow up by the looks of it. So learn something new every day and it will dispel a shit ton of flux by the looks of it. So let's not do that again. So as you can see there, energized aura node, I've turned it off and we'll see this drop down and start recharging again. But these vis relays are quite easy to make, and this will transport any energized vis around your base. So say you have a room full of nodes that is away from everything else, and you have maybe like a workshop the other side and you want vis over there, or an infernal furnace and you want vis over there. It can be done this way. Vis relay is quite easy to make. It's a balance shard with 4 ingots around it, and these balance shards are fairly easy to make as well. Let's just go into harnessing vis. I can't remember where you find the information about this now. Okay, that's it's in basic alchemy. Basically, all you have to do is you have to have 5 aspects in your crucible, 5 of the 6 primals, and whichever one you're missing, that's the kind of shard that you drop in there. So if we had, say, air, ignis, terra, water. What's the water one called? It's just called water. So if we had air, fire, earth, water, and order, we need to drop a Badishi, what is it, entropy shard in there. Sorry, they're really weird names. I keep forgetting them. I don't use these very often. So if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aspects in the crucible, we'd have to drop this shard in it. If we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there, we'd have to drop that one in it, and so on and so forth. I think you guys get the idea. And that will basically give you a balance shard, which isn't too bad at all. And then you can use these with ingots around them to make the relays. So they are a little bit expensive, kind of, if you're in early starting of the game. But they're definitely worth it later on. And then you have these things here, which basically you can take your shards and you can color these relays in. So you can have green. Basically, these are now creating channels, and it'll only transmit to one channel. As you can see here, this node has gone back to a normal aura node, and it's in 0, 0. We'll come back to that in a minute, and you'll see it slowly recharging. The recharge rate on these are quite slow as well, by the way. So as you can see, we've turned all of these into different colors, and basically if we were to send a relay now, it would go to one of these and it would only go off to another one. So if we had one of these set up to red, it would go to the fire one, and it would go to this fire one, and it will only go to something else with fire, or it will go to an uncolored one, which is, you can recolor these as well by using the balance shard. It does not consume your shards either, so if you go back to your normal ones, basically this will now connect to any color. Any color can connect to an untuned one, we'll call them, I think they're called. So these are now tuned to entropy channel. Entropy channel will only connect to entropy channel, so on and so forth. Pretty simple. So what kind of things can you do with these and whatnot? Basically, you can transport these around. You can use them for an Infernal Furnace. So if you had a huge fire node or something with ignis in it, you can transport that and you can connect it straight up to your Infernal Furnace. I'll try and build one of them in a minute off camera and show you how it would work. But yeah, and then you can channel it all around. There's probably going to be features added later, but the two main ones I've seen is the Infernal Furnace, and then there's also this thing called a Vis Charge Relay. This thing is absolutely awesome. If you look into here, it's pretty simple to make. It's a Vis relay and 2 greater wood rods, and it has to be great wood rods, and this is made from the tree. Oh, what's that new thing? So this is made from the great wood logs, and you can make great wood rods out of the planks, and it's just 2 of them, 2 ingots and a Vis relay on the top, and it'll give you this thing called a Vis Charge Relay. So if we move that out of the way, there we go. Did we grab it? No, we didn't grab it. There we go, now we have one. So this charge relay made like that, pretty simple. If you go up to your arcane work table and shift, you have to shift and click on it, it will put something like this, which is really cool. Let's just quickly turn that on to black, and then we're going to turn this one to an auto shard, and now it won't transmit to anything because there's no auto this relays anywhere else, so it's only going to be this one. So it's not going to transmit off to something else, but we have our energized node here, and it is going to be transmitting. If we were to put a wand in this table and we were to use things up, I want to find one that's like empty. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one. Let's see if we can make one just real quick. Grab ourselves a stick and iron one cap, please. I don't think we need any stuff to make this. Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't seem to use up any. It said it needed one of each this, unless it's pulling it off of this, I'm not sure. But yes, now you can see that has capacity of 25, but it has nothing in it. Put it in the table, it's now going to start pulling air and order out of this. This isn't going to deplete. And you can see it's charging the wand slowly but surely, so that's pretty cool. You can recharge your wand in there. It means you can leave one in there and have this, and it will recharge it if you've got all the nodes set up for it. Just quickly have a look at this boy. Oh, he's not recharging, he's actually dying out, so you want to be careful of that. I think if you don't have the node preserver thing unlocked, it might do that. I'm not sure actually. I'll have to look into that some more, and I'll get back to you guys on the next episode with that. But yes, so where these things come in, say you have your nodes in a room at the other side of your base, and like say over here, this is your node room over in the tree here. Let's put a node in there and get him energized up. Sweet, you got the exact same one. So there we go, he's going to energize up now, but say you have it all the way over there and that you don't want it over there, we're going to decharge this one to the point where it's not going to connect up anymore. But yes, you need to transport that vis from here over to here, and you don't want to be having everything in the same room. Sometimes you want to have things separated. This removes the necessity to have it in the exact same room if you don't want to do that. And I'm going to show you a couple of cool things here when these two sort their lives out. So I'll be back with you guys in a second. And we're back. So this one here is now an energized aura node, and this one over here has de-energized itself. Is this one recharging? No, it's not. Tricky. I'm not sure how that we're going to fix that one. We'll see if this one does it. So you want to transport things across. Fantastic. That is what these do. So at the minute this is set up for order. I was sure that would connect. Maybe not. Let's quickly just go plot. There you go. That's now connected up like so. So these are untuned, so these are just going to connect straight up to it. You can transport it across your base like this, or you can have something like this up the top. Get rid of that one and it will connect over. So you can have these up in the ceiling as well even. I wonder if it connects up through this way. It does indeed. See, look at that. That's fantastic. So you can have these things up directly above, and say you had maybe a ceiling. Let's use this block here. So let's say like, don't go in. Really go along like this. So let's say you had a ceiling like this, and you really didn't want anyone seeing these things here. You could totally do that. I mean, let's have a look. Need to grab another one of these. So we could have one going across to like here. That's just going to pull off of that one, isn't it? Yes. So it'll pull off of that one. It'll reflect down to the other one, and it will go through these blocks like this. You can place them on the ceiling, you can place them on the walls, you can place them on the floors. Maximum distance you can have between them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6, or it might be 7. But anyway, flip that one. Look at this big wall that we have come up. That shouldn't be in there. But you can have a single wall and it'll go through and it'll connect to another one. You can have double wall. We can remove that and have loads of walls completely, and it'll look fantastic. So you can have these running through your walls at your base. So if you had like we could do it here, we could have it running through the wall. As long as it's only 6 wide, we can have it running through. So this makes quite a few good possibilities. You can have things running up through the ceiling. So if you wanted to create a channel across the ceiling, you could do that quite easily. We can tune this one to like this. Tune this one to like this. And nothing else will now interfere with that. We can cross networks completely as well. So if we had another network running across here, we could do all of that. So there's quite a lot of possibilities with this. This isn't recharging whatsoever. And as you can see, these things popped out of the floor when I did them. Just do that again to show you. So you can turn it on and off like that. I found out that you can use drawbridges for these things. So if we take that off there, you can use the drawbridges. You can only do it upwards though. I don't think you can do it downwards. So if you have a net, I wonder if these stay their color. So if we colored that one and then dropped it and raised it again, would it still be the same color? I can't really tell because let's change it to black. So if we drop it and lift it back up, it will reset the color. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to do that. I'm working on it. I'm working on something that will fix that and hopefully sort something out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a little bit of an overview of the stabilizers and how to deal with nodes and how to transport them around. We could do an alchemical furnace maybe. No, that's going to take too long. But basically you can transmit like fire, and if you put like a jar next to a furnace before, it would just like power, it would take essentia from the jar into the furnace and it would speed the process up a bit. You can do it like this now. You don't have to have a jar there and keep refilling the jar or have golems doing it. You can directly transport it through the vis relays, which is pretty nifty. But I thought this was pretty cool, being able to use drawbridges and stuff. I'm hoping I'm going to try and find out some better ways that we can set stuff like this up. But that has been it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let's see what the distance is on this. See, that's still connecting. So we have one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 between them, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we could run these all across the ceilings. Unfortunately, you can't have drawbridges in the ceiling, which would be pretty cool. And you could just have them pop down when you wanted them. But I'll work something else out and we try and find something. Just a word of warning though, you can't put pistons on these, I don't think. Actually, let's just grab a stick. Grab one of these. Let's have a little test together here. Oh dear God, right. Am I just being really stupid, or can these not be powered? Okay, these can't be powered with relays on them. Put a relay on the bottom. Nope, that's not going to move with it on. And if you go like this as well, it's just going to... Okay, these don't even move with relays on them. That is interesting. Okay, you can move with relays on top, but it will just break them off, unfortunately. And I don't think we have, do we have the slime blocks? No, slime blocks aren't in 1.7.10. I can't remember if it was or not, but that is it. That is an overview of this relay, some of the cool things you can do with them, a couple of ideas for you guys to maybe play around with, see what you guys can come up with, and hopefully you guys have learned a little bit from this. I'm going to carry on for the next couple of episodes, I think, just covering the changes in 4.2, and then we're going to go back to doing all the research with the notes and stuff, and stuff like that. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Remember to leave a like if you like the episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.